Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Trials of Mana, which is actually what the title screen, it didn't read Trials of Mana, but Charlotte voice acted it when I loaded the game, and she said Trials of Mana. I am the Mysterious JG, and when we left off last time, we were in the Cascade Caverns, getting ready to do stuff. I can't remember whether I was being coy about what's coming up next time or not, but it's coming up in a couple of seconds, so let's just continue on. Now, we actually are at a point where I could load and have a more powered up party, but I want to do this next part. I actually took that save state, did the next little thing, and saved after, so that we wouldn't, you'd have some idea. Well, let me just progress and you'll understand. Oh, but one thing I just noticed literally today, even though I've been playing, you know, for however many days, there's a world map, which I didn't even realize. And they do this neat little effect where it's like you're sliding between two different pieces of parchment. But we've got a world map. You can see the entire game world, including, this is where it gets a little crazy. I think some of these areas, like, you only ever do anything there if you have a specific protagonist and therefore a specific main villain. Like, I think, I want to say we'll be going here because, like, the evil Dragon King lives here, and that's who Angela and Duran's final boss is. But, like, there's other places where I don't think we're ever going to go there because we don't have the right final boss. So, like, this is the Sand Kingdom of Navarre. Some of these places are marked and some of them are not. Holy Temple of Light and Holy City of Wendell. This is where Charlotte's from. I think this is Beast Kingdom land, where Kevin came from, because they used birds to cross over and attack Jad's stronghold. And I think this is Valena or whatever it's called. It's not called. I always want to call it Forcina because that's what that name sticks in my mind better than the new name. And that was the name for the. But even though Duran was here, and this is where his story takes place, and we don't have it marked on our map, so maybe Duran doesn't understand how maps work, or maybe I'm wrong, and that's not the place. But up here we've got Snow Hamlet, Alront, Frostbite Fields, and Altena. So this must be, it says Frostbite Falls, so this must be Minnesota up here. But the point is, yeah, Angela knows where, like, because Angela's our main character, we've got this marked on the map. And I guess the areas, we only have Holy City, Wendell, and Temple of Light marked on the map because Angela's been there. So anyway, no, this is kind of fun. I never noticed this before. It does help a little bit. I've been off-screening Grand Theft Auto 3, and the fact that it doesn't have a world map is a huge pain in the ass compared to Vice City. But also, like, when we get to flying around, and eventually we'll have an airship equivalent. Shocking spoilers. And when we do, this map will be pretty useful. But for now, we're trying to find Lumina, the spirit of light. And it's supposed to be in this cave somewhere. That doesn't seem right.
The light elemental would look so evil. No, this isn't the elemental we're looking for. It's a giant monster. So why do I feel mana power coming off of it?
So this is actually going to be super easy.
How can a monster have mana power?
Well,
what's a mana monster?
We'll have plenty of time to figure this out once we defeat it.
So this is far easier than it is in You got some stones to mess with me. So we got it mostly, like, almost half defeated, and I was intentionally just kind of taking it easy and letting the dialogue play at the beginning. But as you can see, it makes a huge difference that you can actually, these, like, little red area of attack stuff. And they brought back the thing where you can actually see losing an eye.
We're just about done here. Time for the finishing blow.
There it is. That's the finishing blow. But yeah, that was really easy. So I didn't want to load right before fighting it because that was really easy and that was without us having power leveled. And I think what I'm realizing about this game, because I was hearing, oh, this game is really easy. Like, oh, there's tier lists, so you can have the best possible character, but you don't really, people were arguing on YouTube and in various...
What is that?
What? People were arguing in various corners of the internet about, oh, should you take Angela down the dark path or the light path? And what's Duran's best class? And, like, the caveat in most of them is, oh, and by the way, there is no wrong combination. Some are clearly better than others, but any combination of 3 characters can win the game because the game's easy. And I didn't find Seiken Densetsu 3 to be particularly easy. It is a game where it seemed like grinding was pretty necessary to get by. And this is the battle where it really sank in. Oh, it's because you can evade attacks. That pretty much, like Seiken Densetsu 3, it's kind of a weird amalgam of a turn-based RPG and an action game, but special attacks, whether they're magical or not, you don't avoid them. They just, a screen appears, like words appear on screen to notify you that the attack is coming, and then you get hit. So that thing, even you saw, it was like it's using I-beam. Okay, kind of makes sense. Maybe if you know that's coming, you can get out of the way. I don't know how you'd know an I-beam's coming, but then you saw Holy Bolt Plus, an area of effect, holy elemental damage spell that monster was using, the Full Metal Hugger. Even that, it was like following Angela around, but if I was hitting the evade button, it was easy to get away from. So later bosses will have attacks that are harder to dodge, and I don't know if it'll ever be... like in Seiken Densetsu 3, because you can't ever dodge those attacks, it has to be possible for you to tank that damage and still win. Some games, like, where you have some ability to evade attack, like, I know, Final Fantasy 13, there are certain attacks, if you don't switch to Sentinel, you're not meant to be able to tank that attack. You are supposed to have to learn the indications that it's coming, switch to a Sentinel or defensive stance, and then switch back on offense. You're not meant to be able to just tank damage and go without specifically switching, strategy. It may be that later bosses have attacks where if you don't dodge them, you pretty much die, but and that the challenge might be there, more of an action challenge. But so far, it seems like, yeah, they gave you an action mechanic to avoid the big attacks, but still, even if you just tank them, you're going to be okay a lot of the time. Let's get back to the story. Bo, what is that?
Looking for Lumina? That'd be me. Nice to meet ya. A pleasure. And thanks for releasing me from the belly of that Full Metal meanie. Am I right?
Let's dish about Sex in the City.
What would have happened if you hadn't come? Fairy filled me in on your plight while you were fighting. Telepathy's great, huh? Just like Fairy, we elementals need mana to live.
I'm glad his name isn't Fairy, because that would be a problem.
Lumina, where is the Lightstone?
It's straight up from here, deep within the old ruins. But you can't exactly get there from here.
Can't get there from here.
Oh, no. It's safe, though. For now, at least. It's so unstable. It seems like the Benevodon could be unsealed at any minute.
And that makes it safe?
We gotta get the rest of the elementals on board and open the portal to the sanctuary.
Obtain powers from the light elemental Lumina. An elemental that is clearly a little light in the loafers.
Huh? Would you look at that? I think we found a shortcut.
Oh my god, we found a shortcut, guys. You'd think she would be more excited about, like, she's like, oh, would you look at that? We found a shortcut, huh? You'd think she'd be more excited about the fact that she now can learn magic for the first time in her life, which has apparently been a huge freaking deal. Light elemental magic. Now that you can access luminous powers, you can use light elemental magic by putting training points towards abilities from the training section of options. Here are some examples of light magic. Holy Saber imbues allies' weapon with light elemental damage. And this is where they really should be calling it holy and not light. It throws me off every time. Healing Holy. Okay, maybe in this case they need to stick with the word light. Healing Light. Recover allies' HP. Holy Bolt. It deals light magic damage. It's holy elemental. Whatever. Okay. But now our mission is to leave Cascade Cavern. And even though we opened up this shortcut, we're actually being told to go to the same place. But I am going to go to the pause menu and load, because I just didn't want to do that battle with the level 12 characters. Honestly, I made that battle take longer than I could. I could have done that faster than I did. I just wanted to let the dialogue play out, have some ability to see what the enemy's patterns were. But it's the first boss of the game, so you wouldn't expect it to be really hard. I mean, not like that. I'm about to say something unkind. It's not like that that snail monster from Final Fantasy 3/6 that just crushed all dragon. Sorry. But I am flashing. I was about to say, I'm just flashing back to, yeah, I guess it is possible to lose to the first boss of a game if you're doing a little bit too much explaining of mechanics and not actually fighting properly. But no, I could have won that one faster than I did, and that's not bragging. I'm not saying I'm awesome. It's a really easy boss, and with my leveled up party that we just switched to, the problem is your AI controlled characters they work really hard to evade attacks, and they're not that aggressive. But even with them not being aggressive, they still probably would have taken that thing out. And if I was attacking at all, I would have taken it out before we finished all the dialogue about, why would a monster have elemental magic? And, that dialogue would even have finished playing out before we won with a powered-up party. I'm hoping that doesn't mean the entire game is broken, but, a little leveling up at the beginning is not going to destroy everything forever. That being said, now at level 12, this is where we would be right after beating that boss if we had started out with our characters mostly at level 11. Training-wise, some of our decisions don't matter here, because when we get to the first mana crystal in the game, that's where I was playing through the game off-screen, and I was finally like, alright, stop. You need to start recording the Let's Play, don't go any further than this. Because I was trying to grind for magic seeds for the magic pot, and I'd reached the point where my characters were at high enough level for their second class change, even though they didn't have the items that would allow you to do it. But they had enough experience for the level 2 class change, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous, you gotta stop. But eventually we'll be loading that, and at which point, everything that's available to us now as our default level characters will already have been unlocked for everyone. So these decisions aren't really that key. But you'll see, I gave her the basics, two levels of strength training to get strength plus 5, and that was what I did at the very beginning so that she would have a little bit better melee when she was all by herself. And we've gotten enough stamina training points so that when we get the earth element, we will be able to use diamond shards immediately. Intellect is one of the least leveled up things. It will become important for her later, but it's not doing anything for her now. And I'd put in enough points into spirit so that we already know Holy Bolt. We didn't get to this point in the story and get access to the Luminous Spirit, but need to level up and use training points to get Holy Bolt. We have Holy Bolt already. So the next thing to put points into is Luck, because it takes 6 training points of Luck to learn Cyclone, which is the wind elemental default magic. So basically, I'm leveling up now as far as training points to be 2 elements ahead as far as what we need. But it doesn't matter, because by the time we get to the wind element, that's 2 elements away from now in the story. That's when I'll be loading this game where we're already really highly leveled, because I was grinding off screen for, seeds. So she will have 6 training points in all of these attributes, plus additional training points that she's only able to spend because of the first class change. Duran, no one can beat him. Everything's been going into strength and stamina so far, but I guess the next time we level, we'll have to figure out what would be most useful for him. Possibly provoke. Yeah, he's a weird one because he's built to be like, you can go down the light path when you get your class change. If you go with light, he starts to carry around a shield, which is what that mysterious because we never did, Bobo and I never figured this out when playing the game years ago, but the mysterious slot that's always empty for all characters is a shield, and the only person who can use it is Duran, and he can only use it if he goes down the light path, which I'm not actually going to do. I'm going to make him go down the dark path. But the light path gives you a shield, which increases your defense and makes him even better a tank at absorbing damage. But this isn't a game that gives you a lot of opportunity to aggro enemies and control who they attack. You had no ability like that in the original Super Famicom version. There might be one or two little tricks in this game. But no, it's like you can create a character with really high hit points and great defense, but there's no particular way to make enemies attack him rather than your vulnerable characters, so whatever. And anyway, then for Carly, it's similar. Everything has gone into intelligence and spirit, and now I have to figure out something to put points into for her. Power attack damage increased by 5. See, she has things that other people could... She can unlock a skill someone else might get more good use out of. But honestly, the best thing for her... Well, and then persist, which is chance of retaining 1 hit point. No, the best thing for her now is probably stamina, because it just gives her more life and, you know, resistance to damage. So we unlock this shortcut, and then nobody wants to come check it out. Or at least the game doesn't prompt us to do so. But we will check it out, y'all. Check it out. These blue things are giving us class strike power. Because at this point, class strikes are probably better than anything else for damage, including magic. Oh, so here's the shortcut that they mentioned. An item, and there's an item seed. And we can jump down here and avoid some of the path.
Alright, clear your way. Leave it.
This guy was about to hack us in the back of the head, and we just kind of ignored him. And he was coming in for like his jumping melee attack. It's pretty awesome. Oh, and there's a... Okay, I guess this is a cinematic of us flying back across here. Oh, I was wondering, what does the story actually want us to do now? Because we kind of just came back from where we had been, but...
What do you think you're doing?
Wolfman,
Thanks for taking down the cavern barrier. Saved us some trouble. Now, nothing's stopping us from invading Wendell.
Oh!
This is a present to show our appreciation.
Ah! It's Luger.
Let's get going.
See, it doesn't work as well since his name is Ludger now, but I refuse to let go of the old SNES fan translation joke where his name was Luger.
Oh,
He's like a narcissist. Look at him.
What do I do?
What do I do? Oh crap, I never learned the healing magic. That was Charlotte's. Oh crap, oh crap. I mean, I guess you still can shelter an Angela's dead body, I suppose. Oh, flashback time. Now we learn a little bit more about Fairy. Presumably. I don't know, that's what this flashback is for sure. But yeah, it's a mana game, so there's a huge, huge tree somewhere that is super important to everything.
Oh, the mana tree continues to wither.
I blame
A hero
Bolinaro.
must be found to take the
Is that
sword
his
of
name?
mana
Buster, not
and
Bot.
awaken our
Brazil guy?
goddess.
Never mind.
Then
Brazil guy, you know.
let us ask the priest of light for guidance.
But he's like some dude, aren't you?
We
Like
must not
magical
delay any
creatures?
longer. Let's go.
Wouldn't he be like praying to the fairies to provide magical guidance instead of the other way around? I guess not. I guess fairies are just kind of magical, but not necessarily informed.
I cannot continue. What do you mean? We're so close! We can do this!
For Bobo's benefit, whenever he gets around to watching this, I cannot continue. My dad took the controller and started hitting random buttons, and the countdown timer went to 0.
I can't make it to the other realm.
Oh, yeah, this is what happens. Like, everybody tries hard not to be the first to drop, but once somebody wusses out,
The rest of it
suddenly everybody's like, oh, yeah, me too, I'm out.
Hurry.
You know, I would have thought, like,
We cannot continue either. Please come.
Hey, don't speak for me, green-haired fairy. I, blue-haired fairy, wish to continue. Oh, never mind.
Find our hero and save the mana tree.
So are they dead from exhaustion, or are they just being lazy? Because they stuck it all on this fairy, who doesn't get a name, by the way. Fairies, and it really strikes me when she's talking. Apparently, she had an off-screen conversation with Lumina, who just refers to her as fairy. It's like, well, no, the individual mana spirits are distinct and have personalities, but like, do they all know fairy of old, or do they know this particular fairy and have a personal relationship with this fairy? No. Anyway, I don't know. But, okay, we're all in prison now. Well, Durant... Okay, there's Charlotte. Let's say Durant and Angela are.
Wait, where?
Wouldn't they at least give the girls and boys separate cells?
Of all the nerve! Let me out of here immediately!
How are they supposed to have a sexy female women's... like a sexy women's prison if there's men there? I mean, I understand that would make for more sex and not less sex, but... I mean, don't you know anything about women's prison and the type of tension that's supposed to exist? I mean, come on, guys. I don't know. I can't remember the setup, but there's some riff tracks I saw recently that, you know, I guess a woman was going to prison, and the question was, do you want regular women's prison or sexy women's prison? I recommend sexy.
No need to shout. Save your breath.
It's question. It's
Where is this?
one of the Yakazakis.
You're finally awake. You okay? Looks like the Beastmen really did a number on you when they brought you back here to Jad's stronghold. Same here, unfortunately.
I collected the Shade Spirit, not Lumina, so I'm way off track.
Give me a moment, and I think I can get us all out. Now that the guards are gone, you've got a chance. Who, me? I'm Hawkeye. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Is he going to have some kind of wacky superhero entrance? I was trying to what the wait for it was. I thought he was going to say, wait for it, the greatest thief in the world.
Did you even notice the door's unlocked? What a useless guard.
What?
Oh, he didn't hear you. You're going to have to repeat.
You're right. But how?
Oh, it's simple. Come over here and take a look.
Beastmen,
Keep
not
staring
known
at
for their
that
high
spot.
intelligence stat.
Good.
Kevin has the lowest intelligence of any of the player characters, and he's probably supposed to be fairly bright for a
Come on,
Beastman.
you really thought a lock like that was gonna stop a professional thief?
No, I've been tricked.
No, I never thought it was going to stop you, actually. I was always sure you would escape, friend. Also, how was I supposed to know you're a professional thief?
Sorry for the wait. Let's get out of here. Time we went our separate ways. You need to get to the docks. Hurry. While the Beastmen are attacking Wendell, their forces are spread thin. We can catch that boat before it sets sail. I heard the townsfolk mention it before I got caught.
Yeah, but...
You don't look so good. Offer a prayer to that mana statue and you'll be healed completely. I gotta go. Good luck.
Interesting. So, I'm curious, like, he says we don't look that good, but we all have full health and MPs. Anyway, so, yeah, there you go. So, Hawkeye rescues us. No matter who your party is, you always arrive at this prison and need to be rescued at some point. And this is kind of slightly unusual setup. We have Charlotte as our third, and you meet her in those... and this actually is another reason I shouldn't be surprised that first boss was so easy. This is usually the moment in the story where you meet your third party member, because they will also be locked up. Depending on who they are, they will have a different way of getting out of prison, and they will join you in your efforts to escape. The only exception is Charlotte, who joins your party when you find her in that cavern hanging off the edge of a cliff. Because no matter what your party makeup is, unless she's like your first character, I think. Yeah, if you play as her from the beginning, you play as her from the beginning. Otherwise, she joins you there. And if she's your second character, I think that's the first time you meet a new character, is when you rescue her from falling off the cliff. If she's your third, she joins as your third party member when you rescue her from falling off the cliff. Which means that every situation, except for the one we have now, where Charlotte is the third party member, you will meet your third party member at the prison. Up to and including Charlotte as the first or second party member, you'll meet your third party member at the prison. And the most fun one is actually the one that Bobo and I did on the SNES. Of all the ways of escaping, I think Angela has the most amusing one, because she seduces a beast man and then tricks him and escapes. It's like Hawkeye tricks him into coming to look at the lock. I think most of the characters do something similar. Duran probably provokes him into a fight or something and then slips behind him. But Angela's one is the most over the top, because she uses the Sexay powers. And I haven't actually seen what it looks like on Trials of Mana. It's probably a little less... They're probably not quite as, risque as the Super Famicom version was. But I'm sure it's on the YouTubes if you want to watch. At any rate, the Hawkeye one is sort of the weakest in a sense, because because there's no particular reason Hawkeye wouldn't join you. We'll meet Lisa, or Risa, whatever her name is, later in the story. And she'll kind of want to join us to fight Evil, and there's sort of reasons why she can't just suddenly drop everything and join you. We never bump into Hawkeye or Kevin again. But yeah, Charlotte is plot essential even if she's not in your party at a couple of points. And Risa is plot essential at a few points. If you don't have Angela or Duran or Hawkeye or Kevin in your party, you really don't meet them again after Jad, the first pass. But this is kind of an example of, I'm getting a little overcritical of the writing in a game that's pretty much meant for kids, but there really isn't a logical reason Hawk wouldn't join you here. He's just kind of I gotta go, see you later. Also, for whatever reason, and I think this is official canon in the minds of fans, even though there's probably very limited cinematics in which this is explored. Apparently Duran and Angela are kind of vaguely love interests, and Hawkeye and Risa are kind of vaguely love interests, even though in Hawkeye's case he had a love interest from his backstory. But yeah, you'd think that Angela would be willing to dump Duran in a second for Hawkeye. Not only did he bust him out of prison, but he's super slick. Alas, it is not to be. And when we come back next time, we will try to escape from the Beastmen prison. But presumably that one Beastman was not the only guard. See you then, guys. Bye-bye.